So we are looking at the development of the project. So conceptual wise, we are looking at, why, is it necessary? Is it advantageous? What is the economic and the technical advantages? Does it solve the problem? And then when it comes to preliminary, when it comes to development part of the project, it's about developing the different subcomponents, the subcomponents, and even sometimes the components of the projects, you see. So from there, we will move on into looking at, but you have to remember at this stage, a lot of things will come in, such as design, such as planning for the budget, with the design, you can do the budgeting, you can do, you can also do the quality plan, you can also do the safety plan, you can also do your monitoring plan and all that. So you see, once this is approved, and of course, a very important part I forgot to mention here is the authority requirement. A lot of time we need to see whether it fits into the authority. So we are talking about authority requirements, the submissions and all this. This will be done at this stage. And then follow on by the very, very important part, the construction or the execution or the implementation bit. So if you're going to build the power plant, you're going to build the components, you're going to build the manufacturing lines, So it's all here now that you are trying to to actually carry out those work that will contribute to the final product. So yeah, you're building the sub components that will build up to the sub components to the, and all the sub components will build up to different components, and different components will be put together again for the final product as well. So this execution phase, I think we know, in civil, this is going to be construction. In production, in manufacturing, in mechanical, it will be assembling, or it will be the procurement, putting things together, and putting all the parts together, and then fixing them together, assembly, installation. So all this will be done at this execution phase. So as usual, execution phase is very tightly related to the monitoring as well. So execution and monitoring and controlling, these are three management functions that we will be repeating over and over again. So in the execution stage, we also need to look into procurement and contract as well. So yeah, so these are all, I'm pretty sure you can see that a lot of parts are actually a little bit overlapping as well. Such as procurement, we also need to think about it in the development phase. We also need to think about it during the execution phase. Like for example, the why, the surveys, the studies, all these things that need to be done to make sure that it's advantageous is also overlapping with the preliminary development part of the project, whereby we need to look at different subcomponents and components and sub-components. And a lot of these are actually overlapping as well, because it is part of the product, you see. So part of whether it's advantageous or disadvantageous. But of course, like I say, when we talk about subcomponent development and all subcomponent developments and component developments, we are more looking into value engineering rather than feasibility studies. So you see, a lot of this part are actually, some of them are actually, most of them are sequential. I mean, like it is sequential, but a lot of parts are actually overlapping. And then why do we say iterative? Because like things like time, cost, quality, these things have to be thought about during preliminary stage. It has to be thought about during development stage. It has to be thought about during conception stage. It also has to be, we also need to think about this during execution stage. So it is iterative. Iterative means that, at earlier stage, it may be very simple. You use simple formulation, and then it will go into deep. When the information is more, you redo it again, you recalculate again. So it gets more and more detailed. And that is what we mean by iterative. Okay? Then, of course, to complete the facilities, testing and commissioning phases. Okay? So these are generally project lifecycle that we hand over to the client for operation and maintenance. Again, there will be a lot of things like money, like time, and safety, all these issues, procurement, contract, will still be coming back during the commissioning. It will be still be coming back during the operation and maintenance phase, but in a different form. Okay, and then once the project is finished, okay, like finish as in really it fulfills its mission in this world kind of thing, it fulfills its purpose. And then now, because of certain things, because of the project environment, the project is not, this particular facilities is not needed anymore. It will be converted into some other facilities depending on the years, depending on the age, depending on the purpose, and depending on the needs and the new needs, society needs and demand. It will be recycling. There's going to be a lot of recycling, a lot of refurbishing, a lot of monitoring. Sorry, not monitoring. Recycling, refurbishing, demolishing. So all these things will need to be monitored and controlled towards the end of the project life cycle. So one project, well, you will probably last for 50, 40, 60, 80, hundreds of years. Some of them even, you've got like many churches, many big buildings, many bridges that last for, hundreds of years, you see. So, and they're still doing their purpose. They're still standing strong, So, but there are some that may not, may need to be refurbished already. They may need to be extended. They may need to be widened. They need to change their purpose. Their purpose change. And once the purpose change, once there's a new things that is done or to be done on them, then they finish this life cycle and move on to the next life cycle. Okay. So I think that is pretty much what we're trying to understand here for project life cycle. Just a very brief run through. Like I say, different parts of the project life cycle, we focus on it different time at different with different activities. And I think, like I say, scope management is a part that we will focus on the earlier part of the project life cycle to develop the scope of the project. Okay. And then how is that actually relates to the project life cycle, the process, the different management functions? I think I've mentioned that just now. At each stage, we also talk about planning, we talk about execution, we talk about monitoring, we talk about closing. So all this rectification work, the functions of management actually is being used repetitively over and over in the different sections of the project life cycle. And that is what, and that is what we call project management. Okay. So these are some of the summary of the terminology. So project management processes, okay? That is management processes, management functions applying to project at a different stage of the project life cycle. We will continuously apply at different stage of the project life cycle. Plan, organize, lead, execution, monitoring, controlling, rectification, action. There are 5 functions. We repeat and repeat over the life cycle. It's iterative. Okay, it's iterative, right? So yeah, this is what he's talking about, okay?